On Wednesday, I posted a video with my predictions for the new RimWorld DLC, and 2 hours later, Tynan went and posted a detailed description of the expansion and proving that I know nothing and all my predictions were completely wrong. Now we know that the expansion is called Biotech. So today I wanted to go through the announcement and talk about the 3 new major features we're getting in Biotech, what they mean for the future of RimWorld, and what I am most excited about personally. Those 3 new features are children and reproduction, we got Mechanoid pets, and gene modding. You can read the full announcement on RimWorld's Steam page and I'll link it below for your convenience. Now let's start with children first. We know your colonists and outsiders as well will be able to get pregnant and give birth. You're going to have to spend considerable effort to keep the kids happy, to keep them healthy, and give them proper education. You'll need nurseries and you're gonna need classrooms, but they'll also be able to entertain themselves by experimenting with technology and watching adults work. All of that will result in rich childhood that will make them into better and more capable adults. While it says that they grow up fast, it also says you'll be able to choose new passions and traits for them every few years, meaning it will take a long time for them to grow into proper adults. On the other hand though, you can use technology and grow them quickly in growth vats, creating cheap workers and soldiers really fast. But they're probably not going to be as capable or have much of personality. A combination of both paths will probably work for the best, but one has a significantly higher investment than the other, so we'll have to wait and see if it's gonna be worth it. Now in my predictions video, I spoke about my biggest fear concerning children. Various war crimes, yes, we all known for them. Nothing was said about that in the announcement, but we can assume panthers will still hunt your babies, and it's gonna be a thing, and we'll have slavery, mutilation, organ harvesting, and probably more. I already had multiple people say in the comments they'll wait until they can turn the children feature off, either because they don't want to see them get hurt, or because they don't want to spend years babysitting them until they turn into proper adults. Now, I'll want to test the feature myself first before I judge it, but for now, I'm just gonna say that I hope Australia doesn't rile up more countries in a new attempt to ban RimWorld. Next feature of Biotech are the Mechanoid pets. To be able to build and control them, you will need a Mechanitor colonist with a special brain implant. If one will be enough for a whole army of mechs, or you'll need multiple Mechanitors, we do not know yet, so that remains to be seen. You can grow mechs in high-tech gestation tanks, and we'll be getting the good old centipedes and scythers and lancers, and also a bunch of new combat and labor mechs, from small workers to ultra-tech war machines. I, for one, am very excited for those ultra-tech war machines, to be honest, because it opens a whole new way to approach combat. We'll have cheap swarmers, we're gonna have mechs that shield allies, we're gonna have mechs with beam weapons, we're gonna have claws, we're gonna have blades, snipers, and flamethrowers, but most importantly, unlike your colonists, mechs are expendable. You can always build more and your colonists are not emotionally attached to them. Previously, we tried to keep our colonists as safe as possible in combat, building thick walls and kill boxes and other things. Now it seems we'll be able to approach combat more aggressively with our new buddies, and I'm very excited for that. There will also be 3 types of super mech bosses you can defeat to get ancient mechanoid technologies, and they'll be super tough to beat, so that will be a way to test your new mech armies and see what they're actually capable of. Now, of course, mechs are not just combat pets. They can do pretty much all of the labor that your colonists can do, although I assume they won't be able to do any social. They also don't get sick or cold, they don't suffer mental break risks, they don't get poisoned by toxic fallout, and speaking of poison, with rapid mechanization comes pollution. On paper, this sounds like one of the coolest things they're adding, basically bringing pollution as it exists in Factoria if you play that game, waking up insects and powering them up. There will be multiple ways to deal with pollution, of course, and you can also adapt to it with gene modding. I don't see as many downsides with mech features as there might be with children, although it still remains to be seen how annoying it would be to deal with pollution and of course the insects that will spawn because of that, and how easy it will be to create a Mechanoid colony. But I'm very excited to play around with it and find out. And you know what else I'm very excited about? The subscribe button. You should totally go ahead and click it. The last feature of biotech is gene modding. You'll be able to genetically modify humans into xenohumans, making them into fairies, giving them fire breathing, rapid regeneration, or even immortality. The factions currently are quite stale and samey. It's basically just humans with different variants of guns and weapons. And this will give them a lot of flavor, making your interactions with them unique based on each race of xenohumans. There will be super soldiers, you're gonna have furries, of course you will, toxic immune humans, fire-breathing imps, and a lot more. So you'll need to prepare your defense based on who is raiding you, and you better not have a wooden colony with those fire-breathing imps around. You'll be able to buy exotic genes from traders or extract them from your xenohuman prisoners. Recombine those genes into bizarre mixes of traits, make your own xenotypes from scratch, and then implant them into your colonists or prisoners. The only limit here is your imagination and how far are you willing to go with xenohuman experimentation. Although in a game where human leather, chairs and hats are barely considerable a war crime in the community, I don't think morality of such experiments will be anything but a side thought to most players, and gotta admit, me included. Out of all 3 new biotech features, I am most excited about gene modding. It offers so many new ways to customize your colonists and make your playthrough unique, and it's gonna make for some amazing stories. Of course, mech pets have potential to be crazy good, and pollution will create another persistent enemy you'll have to deal with in one way or another, or adapt to it. I'm still not quite sold on children, and we'll need to see how they shape up. If it's gonna take a decade in-game for them to mature, I think popularity of growth meds is gonna skyrocket overnight. All in all, biotech looks like it's got great potential. It's bound to release at some point in October, and I can't wait to play it. There's free 1.4 update as well that comes with it, and you can test it right now on Unstable Branch on Steam. I'll go through those free features in a future video as well, but I do need to test them first myself to see how they work and how they play. Now, you tell me what you're most excited about in biotech, and I'll see you next time.